Hi everybody, it's Diane here, making journaling cards out of journaling cards. I know that's a stretch. Anybody may recall I had come across, this was 12 by 12 paper, scrapbook paper, of journaling cards about traveling that I'm never going to use. And that is a very safe thing to say. So I cut them all apart to make journaling cards out of them. Well, before I got to doing that, I thought, oh, why don't I paint? I hardly ever paint on this stuff anymore. Instead of just papering over, which was my intent. Why don't we do that? In which case, if you want to do that, it might be smarter to not cut them apart first, and you can make more like a master board. That would be kind of nice, I think. And then you can cut them apart in any size you want. I just went ahead. This is 3 by 4. They are all 3 by 4, I should say. I don't know. I just cut them the way they were. I wasn't being very creative and thinking out of the box, was I? And these are going to curl. Don't let that alarm you. If they're real bad, I'll straighten them out under a weight. And if you want to be really smart about this, I did grab some images, scrapbook paper, and there's a sticker in there I may use. That one I think we're going to have to paper over. It's actually foiled, you know, that's going to show through. As is that and that, I think. Match your paint to what you're doing. But I just felt like painting. We're gonna live dangerously, why not? Wouldn't be the first time. And I have 1,000,001 other images, so if I do something that does not match any of those, we can come up with something. What do we want on that? I just did blue and white. Yeah, Diane, you just did that. Maybe a little creative today. No, it's way too hot. And who knows what it'll be like when you see this, but right now it's really hot. Well, it is summer, right? But it could lay off a little bit. Heaven forbid we have a cooler than average summer, right? Okay, these all have gold on them. I didn't know that. This one doesn't. And this is, there was more than one of these papers. So I kept a few. I did keep this one. You never know when you might need an image of Stonehenge, right? Spinal Tap may call or something, who knows. So we're watching you schmutz paint around, I guess. Paint that needs to be stirred up, yeah. That's even better. I probably, off camera, will go back and then match up images. And if, like I said, either find new images or add different colors or something. So I'll do that by myself. If you've never schmutz paint around, it's fun. You know, you have to be a little aware of if colors are going to mix or let it dry so they don't or something. But generally speaking, you can't mess it up too much. It's fun. It's actually kind of interesting the way that shows through. Okay, I think I'll just leave that one. And I'm already out of room for where to put these. Oh, that kind of makes sense. Okay. There's a desk sort of behind to the side of me that my sewing machine is on. But, you know, the sewing machine leaves this much room, and the pedal is up. I put the pedal up. I doubt it, but I don't want my dogs goofing. You know, I don't want them sewing when no one's home, so. My dogs made a quilt while I was gone. No. We can't because you put the pedal up. We were going to, but you ruined it. Oh, good. Here's another non-foil one. This one, I kept this one too. Now that, you never know. That I could even do something with Buster Keaton because of the general. That's showing through. And that's burgundy. Okay, am I right? Well, okay, they are different. They're different. But in the shade, so to speak, shadows, it's really hard to tell. That was burgundy. This is brown. And this one, I'm not worried. Yeah, the middles, I shouldn't worry too much about. They should be covered with an image, right? Okay. That one's not too bad. Feel free to keep that one. Oh yeah, these are all white on the back, which is nice. I was saying though, you can keep your version of this, but I don't like stripes on a diagonal. I just don't. I guess she's not very open-minded. She doesn't like diagonal stripes. So we're not creative. We didn't think out of the box. We're not open-minded. Well, what haven't we used yet? This jade color is nice. Would that look weird with this? Let's find out. No, it doesn't look weird. It's still not covering these stripes that we don't like. And feel free to get really creative with stamping, you know, and stencil paint and all that. I doubt I'll go that far with these because they're small. Let's see if you hadn't cut them apart. So that muddied up a little bit because of the green and pink. I always feel bad when I get paint on the back of it, but you know what? It's a lot of people don't, and that's just what it is. You know what I mean? It's artsy, it's schmutzy, it's cool. But Diane goes, "Oh, I got paint on the back of it." Alright, I felt that on my arm, yeah. Are you wearing a smock or anything? No. Okay, how about we do one more? Then I'll pause and finish off the ones I can paint on. I guess the other ones we can just cover with paper. And I certainly am not going to do all these on camera. There's a lot. I did not count. Whoa! Wow! Dropped a brush. I will say I rarely do that. And I'm capping because when I pause the camera here, I'm going to have to pause my work. And you shouldn't really get, you know, I got brown on here and go back into the yellow. You shouldn't do that. Don't do what Diane does. Wow, that went crazy. Went all the way over to the side. Okay, hang on. When you come back, we'll have a bunch of painty ones. And these, I would just wait till I have an image and then do it like normal. Really, Diane? Yeah, really. Okay, hang on. Okay, we have a bunch of painted cards that were kind of curled. I weighted them down for a while. You know, there's nothing there your child couldn't do. Okay, I picked a few that I thought, you know, I had said I had images already, so I picked a few ahead of time that kind of matched. I certainly am not going to do all these cards on camera. This is a sticker. Maybe you could tell by the glare. Okay, I'm turning my fan up. Can you hear it? Maybe I should turn it up. Here's something humming in the background. It's a fan. Okay, I was going to say though, the only problem with this type of work, you know, that's pretty bold. You do have to be a little particular about what you put on it. Want an example? Let's see. That's actually not too bad. Like, you know, no. If you absolutely have to use that, you could put another paper behind it or something. But things are going to start to get a little lost on there. And I'm looking for a flower paper that I'm not seeing naturally. Here it is. Well, what do you think? I almost think that's too pale. What about this one orange one? And this is the next day. It is super duper hot again. I am so thankful for my air conditioning, or I think I really would have melted. I did go, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 years there without it when I'm, as an older person. I spent my whole childhood without it, and it was just, it's, you know, you get so hot you can't sleep. Yeah, that's fun. I remember getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning a couple times and standing in front of our freezer just because it was so hot. Yeah. Why do people live on this planet? I don't understand. Well, yeah, where do I want to go with that? I did pick or grabbed, a few phrase things. I started with those non-painted cards because I couldn't turn the camera on. So I have those out. I will say my Tim Holtz ones are getting a little like, things are left, that are left are ones I don't care for so much. Yeah. Well, okay, I won't bore you guys looking for phrases. That takes too long. This match is nice. Match is nice. See, my brain is melted. I was gonna say this is good and this match is nice, so that's how it came out. All right, that's pretty nice with a phrase, maybe stitching or something. Okay. Well, this one kind of needs help. It's a little lost. Can you see it's supposed to look like an old postcard with some books there? Would a little bit of text do anything for anybody? Maybe. This was some sort of crossword dictionary, in case anyone is wondering. I showed this in some previous video. It's kind of neat. Except you have to kind of make sure there's no... I don't know if there would be any offensive words in this. But I check it just in case. Well, I don't think I like this much of a white border showing. It's not white, Diane, it's off-white. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, that's better. Well, okay, I'm not a fan of this and this, so what if we put these together? I think that's better. What would you know? You can't even talk straight. Yeah, I know. That needs a rose or something on it. I don't know if I will put a phrase on every single one. That does help. It really does help make it look finished. And what about that? It's kind of bold. We'll see. Okay. Now this one, you could certainly just put a phrase over that or something, but you could also add another focal type thing. It's not, to me, total, you know, a face, a house, you know what I'm saying? It could have something else with it. Like what? I don't know. Or you could just put flowers or mushrooms. That would be nice. You know, I got this stuff. It's not it. Oh, this stuff. Anybody remember this? I showed in a video earlier this year. It was a Christmas present. I need some of this. These are stickers. That's nice. All right. But yeah, I think that could use like a butterfly, which is in another box. I'm not going to make you look through that with me. Right here, right now. Well, this is a little wonky crooked here, isn't it? Yes, it is. So we could put a part of our phrase, if I pick one, over that, maybe. show up so much. I don't know, does that show up too much? Can't have both, I guess, huh? Can't have both? Dang it, shut up. It's either one or the other, I guess I was trying to say. It's kind of nice. I think up there is better. Maybe we could have a bird or something sitting on the crooked thing. Oh, that's not really bad, is it? Just with a ribbon, something like that on the bottom. Oh, they show you on the back what they are, Diane. Thank you. There. And it fused together with the heat. No. Now this is paper. Actually, that's interesting. Do you think it goes though, being a palm leaf? Oh, here's other ones. Maybe a solid would be better. Oh yeah, this had paper loss on it. I don't know if you can see that. Something stuck to it. I don't even know what it was, and it pulled off some of the paper. Okay, maybe we should do that then. All right, that's nice. Okay, very good. I should put together another one. And then I think I'll just go finish these all off. You get the gist of it, right? Yeah, it's hunting around and putting stuff back in a bag. That's cool. You can't, I think you guys can't even see that. Neat. I think so. No. Okay. All right. What else did we have here? We had this. So it's like a journaling card. That's acceptable. There probably isn't a better one for that. And that's okay if I put something under that area. Well, why don't we just use this one? Okay. Gee, Diane, why don't you pull more leaves out? What a good idea. How novel, huh? Alright, well, since this is getting all bent up, let's cut this part off. Alright, this is not the way it's going to be cut. Just to save time and tedium. It's not bad. That's not bad either. All right, let's cover that. You know, there's nothing white on here. Let's do that. All right. You know, just another border down there. Could do ribbon too, or a scrunchy fabric of some sort. No. It's not terrible. Well, I wonder what the weather will be like when this airs, because I've got about 3 weeks worth of videos waiting. And the last time I was complaining about the weather being hot, it happened to go up on a day that it was really hot. Isn't that funny? Actually, no, it's not. That's okay. We know Diane loves diagonal lines, but that's all right. Oh, that might be better. Now I know this is white. No, I kind of like that. Okay, guys. I have to go make dinner. I have to face another day of heat tomorrow. Yeah, it was supposed to be... Tomorrow was supposed to be the last really bad day. No, now it's tomorrow and the next day. Oh, Diane, stop griping about the weather. Okay, I will. Okay, I'm going to come back. Not today. There's no way these are going to be done today. And have a bunch of cards done. And there's a lot of the blank ones left that were foiled still I have to do. I mean, I don't have to. You know, Diane should probably do it all. Okay, hang on. Thanks for listening to me. I'll be right back and we can see all the finished products. Okay, here we are a few days later. This took some time. There's a lot of cards here. So these are the painted background ones. Not that you could tell that too much on some of them, but stitching all the way around on that one. This one, remember we had that wonky edge, so that's covered. That's good. A lot of these have inking around the edges, ribbon here, the dots I carried up with a pen just because there were dots there. This one, there's no sewing or ribbon on it. I thought it was fine the way it is. Actually, I think that's kind of pretty. This one, I wound up moving the rows down there. It's a real postage stamp, stitching, ribbon. This one has no word or phrase. I just thought it was kind of cool. Those are tissue paper images and scrapbook, stitching all the way around, and then the paint in the background. This one I did cheat a little bit. It had been painted blue, but it didn't really match this blue too well, so I did go over this one. I admit it. You're allowed to do that. Oh, that's old book images there. This one I made into a pocket and wrote notes, so there's little papers to write your notes. I think that's kind of pretty. Ribbon. And I used some of those vintage little girl images here. Scrapbook paper flowers and scrapbook behind. Ribbon. I did put this one on scrapbook paper. Scrapbook. And some ribbon. This on the bottom is all paint. And this one, I had some extra of this paper, so I cut out, you know, the part that's underneath and put it on. Worked out. Looks sort of Halloween-ish. It's another tissue image. Torn scrapbook paper. I drew in the branch. Sewing. Punch stars. It's actually kind of neat, I think. This one is not a whole lot of embellishing going on. It was a journal card I trimmed down to have a border. Old text behind there, stitching around. I did sew on buttons, and since there was, you know, kind of unattractive sewing there, I did put paper on the back of this one just to cover that up. Okay, then a bunch that were just collaged. Oh, this one does have paint. I'm sorry. This one is paint. Can you tell? I admit it. If anyone's saying, well, what a waste of time and paint. In a few cases, you're right. Some of these corners are rounded. Some are not because of obvious reasons. This is the original card up here. The rest is all scrapbook. This one I intentionally did messy stitching, but I think I would have unintentionally done it because my machine was acting up. The cup and this square are part of the original journal card. I added the other elements and some paint. It's kind of pretty. The stitching on this one, I went to here and then to here. That worked out. It's just so happened, it's one of my copies of an old collage. It fit on this foiled circle perfectly. You know, it's part of the original card. That's kind of nifty. Scrapbook. Yeah, that's all scrapbook. And that's kind of cool. Yeah, this one, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of fun. The bottom and the top are just original card. Oh, just a little art note. I don't know if you'll pick it up. I did notch the ends of the ribbon to match the arrow points. I did try it just straight. It looked kind of, you know, you do separate the men from the boys and that kind of stuff. It made it look kind of amateurish, you know what I mean? You could have left it, but I didn't think it looked too nice. This is washi tape up here, ribbon. The arrows, that's the original card. This was kind of neat. That's another tissue image with paint behind. I did, you know, bump this up on blue because it didn't show up too much, and then added blue down here, which I think does jazz this card up a lot, otherwise it'd be awfully dull. There's ribbon on the sides here. That's the background of scrapbook too. There's a lot of the original card showing here. That's a scrapbook paper image, ribbon. That's pretty nice, I think. This one has no sewing or ribbon or anything because I didn't want to cut anything off. It's kind of cute. And then this, it's an old slide, which I guess technically is a negative. Original card there. Okay, well, we took journal cards and made journal cards, but these someday, somehow, will get used. Those other ones, I don't think I would ever use them. Okay, I don't have time to put these all out. There's so many. I didn't count. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming along. I hope you have a nice day.